Good morning, my app are back. Here's the plan. Painting and cabinets. Beyond that, there might not be an awful lot else, but I said that yesterday and I was wrong. So there could still be more stuff on glass, for example. Could be all sorts of different things that we just don't know about yet. But the big push is finishing walls and building cabinets. If it's only two things, what could possibly go wrong? We'll start with windows this morning. The windows crew stayed pretty late last night. They actually stayed beyond the regular crew who kicked out of here at about 6 o'clock. So the engineer is going to go around today and see whether all the fixes that he spotted have been taken care of. I think they're not done. Over here, there's still some bits of window that could be the remnants of the previous installation in the dirty kitchen, but the engineer also mentioned this morning that in fact, although he checked all of the upstairs windows, he hadn't yet checked all of the downstairs ones, so there may still be a requirement for them to do some more fixes. Bit of confusion about who's doing the glass in the wood and glass doors. He's actually not sure if it's the same crew. The builder hasn't told him yet. So it may be that those same guys have to come back and fit that glass, or it could be somebody else. We'll wait and see. But more still to be done with glass in this house, not including the fact that we still don't have that glass for the banisters and balustrade, although, as I've mentioned, that's been put back now until quite near the end of the build process, just to allow the guys to finish work on the stairs before that glass goes in. And I think they're going to delay that work on the stairs until most of the work upstairs on everything else has been finished, so that there is a limited potential for damage to what they do with guys constantly going up and down. So I think glass along with paint are likely to be the two last things before the completion of this house. Inside the dirty kitchen, two things going on. Willie is applying a little bit more skim coat, I think, along the edge there that you can see of the granite just above the sink. In fact, stretches all the way along. So where there is a connection, he's filling in that gap. And over here, Rico's made another cabinet, or is making another cabinet. It's kind of a false cabinet, but it just hides the ducting that goes into the extraction, which will have its bottom just below the bottom of those cabinets, so within the tolerance that the manufacturer recommends for the height between the top of the cooker and that extraction. So that's a new one, doors being test fitted, lots of finishing still to be done. And the paint on the cabinets is not done yet. I'm going to come back to this later today and try and give you a list of what do they do. All this time that's been spent on these, how many coats of what go onto these cabinets? We'll try and do that later today. The double doors leading out of the kitchen, finishing is continuing. It's really hard in this mixed light to see whether this is going to come out, but all of it will have the wood grain pattern on it. I'm not sure if it's going to come out clear, but the kind of central panels and the edges have a vertical grain, and the kind of bars going between the panels have a horizontal grain to just stand out a little bit. Owen is inside the dining room, just using this as a workshop, preparing the cupboard doors for either the pantry or the dirty kitchen. So all of these doors will have 2 coats of the grey paint. I'm going to show you some that have got 2 coats and some that have got 1. I have no idea whether we'll be able to see the difference, but here we go. Just here, we have doors that have 2 coats. All of these up to this slightly shorter one. Well, all of those are the shorter ones. Then from this slightly larger one onwards, it's only 1 coat. Now, to the naked eye, there is a slightly more glossy sheen on the ones on the left, but it is barely noticeable. So the 2 coats are just there just because that's what they do on all of these doors. They put 2 coats on just in case it gets chipped or knocked. Gives you a little bit more depth to that paint. Maybe this shows it a bit more clearly. So this is the 2nd coat after having been sanded, which extends up to where you might be able to make out a very slight change in the tone of that paint, which is being quickly painted over. And actually, you might also be able to see there are little tiny areas where the 1st coat of paint doesn't quite cover properly. So the 2nd coat makes sure that all of those little tiny, almost white speckles disappear. Ernie's in the master bedroom, still applying little tiny bits of skim coat around the edge of this decorative area, just filling in any little tiny gaps that he sees. Painting should resume shortly. Goelito is working on the balcony in the master bedroom, applying a lacquer thinner, really as a cleaning agent. Elson, on his own at the moment, still working on shelves in the master bedroom walk-in closet. They have test fitted quite a lot of drawers in here now. Still, I think, some more to go, but on both sides. Lots and lots and lots of drawers. By the way, since the bases for these cabinets and then the cabinets themselves have been put in, so far, no sign of this floor warping or buckling upwards. Touch wood, it's going to stay that way. This is the master bathroom, and something else we still don't have in terms of glass is any of the shower enclosures. So all of that still to come. All of that, I believe, is being done by the same guys who are doing the balustrades and banisters. Toto is perching under a ladder in the spa area, still working with skim coat for now on some of these walls. And look at the mess on the floor from all the sanding and preparation that goes on here. Hopefully this will clean up very nicely, but time will tell. It's just a bit after 4:30, 4:45 actually. Before we go and see what's been going on and talk about a couple of questions that have been put in the comments, or comments in the comments, there's a contribution from Wally Trink, who said, I tried to come up with a carpentry pun that would work. I think I nailed it, but nobody saw it. Let's go and see what's been happening. There were comments from 3 people this morning about windows here and being installed incorrectly. The comments were from Emil Harris, None of Your Business, and Eucopia. And they're all referring to the fact that the window on the outside is wrong. It shouldn't be tracking on the outside, apparently. But I've had a look at this, and bear in mind that on a lot of these windows, we have 2 windows that both track, and then we have an insect screen. So I suppose there is an option to have the insect screen on the outside. Not sure that makes any sense, because to me that would make it much easier to get damaged. And so I think this layout seems okay. water will undoubtedly get into this first track. I don't really see too many options with this, because if we had the screen on the outside, surely more water would get in there. And that's why we have the little holes and the little plugs to release any build-up of water in there. But, as I say, I've said it many times, no expert. So, any more thoughts on, is this just the wrong way round? Or have we got this horribly wrong? I mean, this is the way the windows were built. Is the company that makes them making a big mistake? For me, it seems like this makes sense. But let me have your expert or non-expert opinions. I said this morning that I'd try and go over the treatment of the wood for these cabinets. So I went to ask the engineer, and he's given me a rather long, well actually, piece of cardboard. And on that, it's listed the procedures for cabinets. So, forgive the fact that maybe there's some slight translation issues. There may not be, I haven't fully checked it. But this is what they've written. First, apply primer, surface white, sanding, lacquer, putty white 3 times, sanding, primer, oh I can't reach that, surface white, rematching with skim coat, sanding, quick dry or automotive enamel with colour, skim coat and matching, sandpaper, final 2 or 3 coats. And bear in mind that before all that happened, they treated it with selignum as an anti-termite mechanism. So that's 11 listed steps, not breaking down the fact that the last 2 or 3 coats, it says, that could make it 12, 13, 14. There's a few steps there that are in fact 3 steps instead of 1. So let's say, for argument's sake, there are 15 steps to getting these cabinets finished. That's why it takes a long time. Inside the home theatre, the framing is finished. So they're moving out of here for a while. I think the next step probably is going to be speaker wire, but we don't have it at the moment. So the guys that were working in here are off now, paying attention to cabinets. So at the front, we've got Oliver, who at the moment is applying what Manny yesterday called mayonnaise, wood glue. We've got Elson, we got Richard, we got Manny and Erwin, and maybe there's more people tucked away, all working on putting together cabinets. And also Sing Enrico's been involved in this as well. So we're well over a third of the crew working on cabinets for all over the house. Mainly now for other walk-in closets, but still some to be done for the master. Herwin with an H has been having a grey day. I just counted. There are 27 cabinet doors in here, all of which are for the dirty kitchen and for the pantry. I'm not sure whether we've still got more to do for the laundry room. Don't think they'll be grey, if there are any to do. We can hopefully now get a slightly better look at the staining of this door, one of the 2 doors going from the kitchen out to what is now the laundry drying area, but the north side of the house. So the staining is done. I don't know if there's any more finishing to be done on the doors, but it's all got the wood stain appearance, whether horizontally or vertically. Okay, a quick correction. Just walked in the pantry, and all the doors for the cabinets in here, just the 6 of them, are already in here. So it's not 27, it's 33. My goodness, that is a lot of grey paint. In the walk-in closet for the master bedroom, all of the corner pieces are now in. So right now, what the guys are working on downstairs is the cabinet that will go here, which now has a base, and it is the design shown here. And there are still more to come. There will be more on this wall, although on this wall there'll be an area for a vanity desk, really. But I think it'll still be surrounded by more shelving cabinetry of some sort. And there's still going to be another one just here. Sorry about that, I didn't warn you about dizzy pills. But they're filling pretty much all of the available space. This is Alex's room, and Ernie, I'm told, is getting close to finishing all of the final paintwork on the walls and the skirting boards in here. Still got other bedrooms to finish, but it's not just him. When I asked the engineer what's new this afternoon, he said, using the paint roller on the ceiling in here. Not really very new. But we've still got Toto and Hunter working on the spa and gym walls and ceiling. That's it, we're going to call it a day here. So much work going on with cabinets and painting. That was by far the biggest focus of today, and is likely to be the biggest focus tomorrow and the next day. We've still got various projects around the house that are not done. So we've got things like connecting electricity, connecting internet, putting bars on the windows, which I'm sure some people will find annoying. We'll talk about that when we get to it. We haven't dealt fully yet with water purification. I'm sure there's a load of other bits and pieces that have to be done, and then the minor detail of furniture. I am not looking forward to buying the furniture we need, but unfortunately it needs to be done. So that's it for today. The guys will be continuing for probably roughly another hour now, getting up to 5 o'clock, but we're going to call it a day, and then tomorrow we'll catch up with anything else that they managed to do in this last hour. Hopefully. See you then.